9. By the way, we'd really appreciate your feedback. You may be offered the opportunity to complete a short survey at the end of your call. Now, in a few short words, please tell me what you'd like to do. For example,
Speak
you could say,
to a representative.
I think you'd like to speak to a representative. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I didn't get that.
Yes.
Please say, in order to get you to the right place, I need to know what you're calling about. Using a few short words, please tell me why you're calling. For example, find a doctor, or what are my office visit benefits?
Speak to a representative.
I think you'd like to speak to a representative. Did I get
Yes.
that right?
Correct.
Please note that descriptions of benefits are not an authorization or guarantee of payment. We value your feedback. At the end of your call, please remain on the line to complete a short survey to tell us about your experience. Please hold while I connect you.
Thank you for calling Blue Shield of California. My name is Trisha. How can I help you today?
Hey, I've got a provider for my diabetes supplies. They apparently go back on a lot of their um, payments and make the customer pay more. And so I'm just wondering if I can get some help looking through the transactions, making sure everything is how it's supposed to be.
Okay, yeah. I can barely hear you. So sorry. It might be my mic. But are you calling about some claims that you had?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I have your first and last name, please?
That's Brylan Hawks.
And Brylan, can I have your date of birth, please?
It's January 19th, 2005.
And is a good callback number for you 385-391-7276?
Yeah.
Is it okay to leave a detailed voicemail at the number?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you're calling because you just want to make sure that some claims are processed correctly?
Yeah. Well, so this company seems to overcharge customers. Like, they'll go back and say, you need to pay more for your deductible. Like, they just, like a month ago, said that I needed to pay more for something in 2023. And so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I guess I'll probably get you over to the right department. Do you have any dates on file that I can look for?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Do you need those right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, there's a lot of them, just because I'm not sure what, they've overcharged or whatever. So.
Okay.
Let's see.
You could just give me the time frame, and then when I get you over there, then they can look one by one, if that's okay.
Okay.
Or I can just get you over there. How many do you think there is?
There looks to be like there's maybe 10, 15 within the last 2 years.
In the last 2 years. Okay, let me go ahead and just get you over there then. Okay, Braylon, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and get you there, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Brian, thank you for being so patient. I have Kathy here who's going to answer all your questions about your price, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling Blue Shield of California. You guys have a good day. So thank you. Bye-bye. Riley, can you give me at least the beginning date of service so I can look at this provider to see what we're looking at?
Yeah, let's see. Looks like
The oldest.
okay.
Like January, February, yeah.
I've got one from April 24th of 2024.
2024?
Yeah.
Okay, April 4th, 2024?
Yeah.
April 2024. Okay. It's going to be a lot of claims that I'm going to go through. So let's see here. What type of provider is it?
It's medical supplies. It's Byram Healthcare. They help me with diabetes.
Okay. So I don't have for the 20, I have May 13, 2024. and it looks like they billed us $1,035.
Okay. Did she explain what why I'm calling?
She said that you wanted to make sure that there was a discrepancy of overcharging.
Yeah. No, this company's notorious for going back and saying that people owe more money than they do. So yeah, that's that.
So I have a claim from May 13, 2024 for $1,035. Looks like we paid $310.50. Your patient liability at that time was $34.50. That looks accurate to me. 10% of that amount. Let's take a look at any other ones.
Could it be possible that they just didn't send it to insurance at all and they just paid the whole price?
I mean, I'm looking at all these. They look like they're coming in. Rendering providers. Supplies, monitor glucose. I only see one supply so far in 2024. Let's see what else. Okay, there's one in August. Same amount was $34.50 was your co-insurance. Are they charging you more than that?
Yeah, I mean, for like a deductible, they've charged me up to like $1,500, and they've had me pay like $750 sometimes.
Which do you know when they're charging you for your deductible?
They usually tell me.
Let me go back because it looks like it's going to be probably the beginning of the year. Because it is subject to deductible, but let's see when it applied to your deductible. Yeah, $345 back in February that applied to your deductible.
Was that this year?
And then let's take a look at the other one. On the 17th, looks fine. March 22nd, 2024, looks like the total amount to your deductible is $524.85. That was March 22nd. Let's see if any more.
Okay, so here's on this February 21st of this year, they charged me $1,500.
Okay, we're looking at this year. Okay, we're looking at the 24th. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
go back to the 25th. Yeah, I have $1,000.35 on one towards your deductible.
Which one was that?
That was February 24th, 2025.
Okay, well, on my end it says that I pay 1,556.
Okay, so that's just one claim. So it's 1,000. So the total amount was that you owed was $1,035, and then the second one was $524.85. Let's see what these are for. Supply, catheter work, so different supplies. Insulin pump, syringe. So it looks like that total was $524.85 towards your deductible. So one was for $1,035, and the other one was for $524.85. So let me see the first one and what it was for. That was for the continuous glucose monitor, supplies and accessories, 1 month supply. So those were all for the supply allowance for continuous glucose monitor. The $1,035 that they charged that applied to your deductible.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that when I talked to them last time, they said I had something from like January of 2023 that I needed to pay more money on.
A claim from January 2023?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I just went back to 2024. Let's go ahead and confirm that. Yeah. Yeah, January 13th, 2023, they billed $1,596.25. The deductible was $1,416.30. Here. Yep, that was for all your supplies, glucose monitor, syringe with idle internal insulin pump, and then infusion set, extension insulin pump, cannula type. So yeah, that was accurate too for January 13th, 2023.
Okay.
It was deductible $1,416.30.
Yeah. So they won't let me order any more supplies until I have everything already paid for. And I've ordered, as you know, I've ordered plenty more after that. And so, to me, and they only recently just told me that there was something wrong with that. I didn't pay that. So to me, it just doesn't seem right for that reason.
Okay, they recently told you that you had a deductible for your plan?
They told me that I had
you owed?
Yeah.
Okay, you did not know that you had a deductible at any time for your plan?
No, I
services?
knew that. It's just so I can't order any more supplies until I've already paid off the last one. And they're pretty good with that. They do that accurately every time. I have to pay it off before I get the next one. But the thing is, I've ordered plenty more supplies between then and now, and for them to come back on it, 2.5 years later, just doesn't seem very, very right to me.
Right. So they never billed you for any of this before?
I'm not entirely sure. They might have. At least on their app, it doesn't let me go back that far to see what I've ordered. But even then, like, this is, still a shady company that does this kind of thing often, so I'm not sure how they do it, but they definitely do it. So I went into my doctor's office just last week, and I said, like, I keep getting more and more payments that I need to make, and then he guessed the name of the company and said, yeah, they do that all the time. I should find a different provider.
So they suggested you find a different provider, and have you? Did they refer a different provider?
They said I would get some calls, from some. I haven't yet, but yeah, they did say they would give me some referrals and stuff.
So how else can I help you, Ryland?
I'm really not entirely sure. I just know that they, as my doctor was saying too, like they go back on the records and make people pay more money. I'm not entirely sure how they do that, but it seems to be a very...
I mean, I would definitely reach out to them and ask them to send you a statement, a bill of everything that they're charging and everything that you've paid, so that you're aware of where you stand on how much you owe them, because all the claims that I just went over do show a substantial amount of money that you did owe them. Now, if you paid them, then that would be an issue. But if you haven't paid them because you didn't get a bill, you would still be responsible for that payment, right? But again, if you don't know what you paid or don't have a record of what you paid, I would definitely try to get a record of that, because that's going to justify why you didn't pay certain amounts, or if you didn't get bills, if they have your correct address, anything like that that would assist you in advocating for yourself, as far as like, hey, I made a payment and you haven't credited me, things like that, that you can go off of. But everything that I have went over, it seems to be accurate what they're charging you. Now, if you paid it, that's a different story. We don't have record of what you paid. We will never have record of what you paid. That's between you and the supplier, or even your doctors. We don't know how much you pay at the office. We know how much you're responsible for, like I went over, but we don't have no record or know how much you paid. That would be something that the biller would have, and you yourself would have record of it, because obviously, you made payments on what days you made, or used credit cards, or used, HSA cards, anything that would leave a paper trail as far as your financial payments that you've made.
Right. Okay. So if I do find that I have paid more than what I should have, out of pocket, what should I do in that case? I should still...
Well, if this is what I've always have seen a provider, if you can prove payment, and you fax it to them, because they always provide you that information, because maybe their records are not, updated, or maybe they, there could be a lot of possibilities. Anyway, if you have proof that you made these payments for these deductibles, and you send them a copy of it, you just tell them, I need to send you a copy of what I paid because you're still, my balance is still looks outstanding where I've made payments. That way they can update their records and see where they applied that money to. And, maybe it's just a misunderstanding as far as like where it belongs, the payment belongs, versus, because again, there's nothing, if without proof of what you've paid, there's nothing, dates and credit cards and stuff like that, or debit cards or HSA cards, like I said, money orders, checks, things that you've made payments on, their amounts are going to stand without you having that proof. So I understand you mentioned, that that the provider and your PCP and it has made you aware, or you've heard that these providers has billed on occasion, more than they should. But as far as what I can see right now, all these dates that we went over, they do show you have that, that responsibility. Again, I don't know what you paid. I don't know if you have all that information up front right now that you've paid all these and you can show proof. That would be something that we could call over to them and with the dates that you have in mind so that they can research their end, like I just did on my end, to see where that money went to. Do you have that information?
I could get it, but I could look at my, my credit and debit card histories and stuff like that, and find out that way what I have paid and that sort of thing. That's what you're saying, right?
I would start there. Yeah, I would start there. Get it together as far as what you've paid and document everything, and then add it up, and then add up what they're charging you to see if it adds up.
Okay. And if there's discrepancies, I can call back to you guys and...
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll look into getting that done.
All right then, Brian. Well, thank you so much for calling Blue Shield of California. If we need to call over there together, we can do that, make a conference call to rectify this. And again, if you need to get supplies and your provider suggested a different supplier, you can always look into that as well.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Welcome. No, it's my pleasure. No, it's my pleasure. And if you have, you did a survey about minding your interaction, and if you need our help, just give us a call back here, okay?
All right. Can I ask what the survey will do for you? Like, if I were to fill that out?
Yeah, it's going to be for me.
Yeah, well, right. Like, does that help you in any way?
It does. What it does is just, if I answered your questions, if I was clarified with, the information you asked versus the information you got, things like that. It's going to be based on what I did for you as far as, giving you the information, how the claims, did I go over them, did I explain to you things that they did have, things like that. It's
Gotcha.
Basically, they're going to say, did the representative, was, I don't even know the questions to tell you the truth. I just know that it's based off of mine and your interaction, and if you if you felt that this was a definitely positive call on mine and your behalf, was it something that, of course, a lot of times we expect different things when we call, especially when we have, astronomical amounts like this that they just lay on your lap,
Yeah.
I wish I could have a magic wand and just wave it away for you, but I can't, and And like I said, once you do get that information and you see that there's well, definitely I can help you. Like I said, if you had any of that information now, we could call. Again, I'm here. I'm your advocate. I'm here not just because, they're the insurance and, they just, go along with the dog. No, we don't do that. What we do is yeah, they are contracted providers, but like you said, and I acknowledge and I'm very transparent. It doesn't mean they're always right. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's line up what our claims say and what I don't know what but at least if you can prove that you've made so many payments. And and I've really never heard where they stop giving you supplies unless they send you, numerous statements this, so that's kind of like the first that I've heard, especially when you're a dependent insulin, where you need supplies for your health, it's access to care,
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do to waive those amounts, because it's the type of plan that your family's on, that you're under your family, and it's like my hands are tied to do anything in that area because, again, like I said, but I can always direct you. And like I said, I directed you, hey, get all these together, look at it, see. Another thing is once you do that and maybe you see that you have underpay or maybe, you need someone to maybe with them, I don't know the company personally as far as their financial advisors there, as far as like what they can do, work out a payment plan for you because you do have a high deductible. But it always starts at the beginning of the year. You've got to remember that. Always at the beginning of the year, you're going to be hit with that because that's just what happens when you utilize certain benefits at the beginning of the year and apply to your deductible. So that's just always a key to remember. And you're young, you're 20. I give you a lot of props because you know what? Not many 20-year-olds are calling and being aware of their responsibilities. So I give you that because I have parents all the time calling on their their young adult children, and sometimes I tell my kids, hey, you know what? You call. Just so you could be aware, and you're sound so aware of your situation that is I'm just like wow, I'm very overwhelmed because it's not very often do I get a 20-year-old, like I said, on the phone getting all this information for himself and trying to rectify it. So I give you a lot of props for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I gotta learn somehow. I gotta take care of myself.
Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it. It feels like a hard lesson around because of the amount of money that seems, owed or whatnot. But just the lessons as far as, like you said, taking the responsibility, learning, and how to apply it and how to, get in good standing with wherever you're at in finances, with these. And it's unfortunate because you need these medical supplies because of your diagnosis. It's not something you're like, hey, I want this, I want that. Like some kids nowadays going, I want a, 16 plus Pro Max, and you're like, what? So, yeah, Braylon, I give you a lot of props for this because it really says a lot about you and your responsibilities. And I'm really assured that once you can find that information and we can call them back together and say, hey, look, this is what he's paid. Do you have any record of this? Can you look it up? And even if you don't find it and you never got these statements and whatnot, maybe there's a program that they have that, can kind of like help you. And I've heard of that too, where I've known for emergency rooms and stuff that there's programs that they're like little grants that pay off these things. So again, we never know. I mean, something good and positive can come out of this for sure.
Okay, yeah, I am getting my statements from my bank right now, and I'm gonna have them all online. I think I can have AI look through them and see what I've paid towards them. I'm back in
Yeah.
March of 2024. I'm getting all these statements now, so see, it shouldn't take too long. Let's see. Yeah, I really appreciate your patience and your helping us. So it's been very, very helpful. Okay, let me see.
So I got a lot of statements to go over every month.
Yeah, yeah. I'm having AI look through it and see. I don't know if it can pull anything out for me. Just real quick for me. So I've got 10 months worth already.
process, you take a little bit more time, and that way you won't just do it here on the phone, right? And so that you can be more accurate and look at.
Okay. I do have some of them.
Right, you would have to total all the ones that you've paid versus all what you owe and see what is there's a big difference. Or if there's a difference at all. Not even big difference. If there's a difference at all.
Okay.
And if there's a difference, then you want to make sure that you have copies of that information. So when we call, we can be able to send it to them. They're going to ask you to send it to them because obviously you have it. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure. Thank you for calling Blue Shield of California. Have a good rest of your day, okay? Take care.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for taking time to tell us about your experience with our service. Let's get started. Based upon your experience today, how satisfied are you with the last customer service agent you spoke with? Using the keypad, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 means very dissatisfied and 10 means very satisfied. Did the customer service agent resolve your inquiry? Press 1 for yes or 2 for no. With respect to your overall call experience today, how satisfied are you with the customer service call center? Using the keypad, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 means very dissatisfied and 10, what is the one thing we can do to improve your experience? To record your response, press 1. When you're finished, press pound.
Everything was great. Thank you. No.
America First Credit Union. To use our speech-enabled or touch-tone systems, say telephone banking. To learn more about premium checking, say premium checking. Otherwise, how can I help today?
Speak to a representative.
Sorry, to use our speech-enabled or touch-tone systems, say
Speak to a representative.
It sounds like you're calling for information about your account. Is that right?
No.
To use our speech-enabled or touch-tone systems, say telephone banking.
I would like to speak to a representative, please.
It sounds like you're calling for account history. Is that right?
No.
To use our speech-enabled or touch-tone systems, say telephone banking. To learn more about premium checking, say premium checking. Otherwise,
Speak to a representative.
sorry, to use our speech-enabled or touch-tone systems, say telephone banking.
No.
Or press 1.
Speak to somebody.
Sorry.
Speak.
Right. Before I transfer you, I'll need some information so the representative can be ready with the account information. Please say or enter your America First account number or credit card number. I didn't hear that. So that the representative can serve you faster, please say or enter your... Sorry, so that the representative can serve you faster, please say or enter your America First account number, credit card number, or the account number printed on the bottom of your check. Or say, I don't know it.
4917.
I didn't hear that. To continue with self-service, to return to the main menu, press 1. To continue with self-service, to return to the main menu, press 1.
No, I want to speak to a representative.
I'm having some trouble. One moment while I transfer you to a representative. This call may be monitored and recorded, and your voice may be used for verification purposes. As a security reminder, America First will never call you and ask for your PIN or other personal information. Because of the recent holiday, our wait times are longer than usual. However, you can access your account anytime, online and mobile banking. We apologize for the inconvenience. All of our member service representatives are assisting other members. Rather than wait on hold, we can call you back when it's your turn. Between 49 minutes and 1 hour and 13 minutes from now. You will not lose your place in line if you choose to use this service. To receive a callback, press 1. For more options,
Sure,
please
bro.
enter your area code and phone number. Your phone number has been recorded as 38539172726. If this is correct, press 1. To re-enter, press. You will receive a callback between 49 minutes and 1 hour and 13 minutes from now. Thank you for calling America First Credit Union. Goodbye.
Better be playing. Just I can see why they're giving it stuff though. They have to climb a whole mountain to try to make this as accessible as possible. Yet again, another one is stuck. Just one. Oh! Champ himself. Not okay. I'm just gonna be quick. Okay. Run, Vex. One already hit me. Double totem. The Vex are maybe they'll get these cheeky brand. It's not dangerous, right? I can see that phantoms. But though it looks like from up here I can see almost every single one of them is in the village. Once it's in the village, they're dead. That's the last guy right there. If he falls in a hole, it's over. He should fall in a hole. They're pretty dumb. Right next to the smoke in the hole. Yeah, I'm risking it. Just for everything. Headshot. I may have done it. 35 days. That's been starting. It is indeed a small inside of the village that is constantly in a raid and win that raid after about a month. If you take a day here and lose trading, I've been kind of. I would eventually love to come all out of here. I definitely don't like that they're all in here, but I literally just need one of these. I haven't really had enough time to set up like any infrastructure for real money making. That's my farm right there. You're looking at it. You've stolen all the other weed and anything else of value. All of a sudden, like now that all the dust is settled. I mean, in real life, you know what I mean? I think I forgot to eat breakfast this morning. I did not think Infinite Rage would be a chance, and it definitely isn't. Don't try this. It's not worth it. Just watch me do it. satisfaction out of that. I did build another pit by my castle. You see, it's just like the first one. I just noticed sometimes things get caught up on this angle, and I'm hoping instead of having them go all the way around to this third pit in the back, they're just going out. Nothing has actually died in it yet, though, so I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's been real chill. About a day, the fourth wave now. We've got a little glitch here. These two dudes, they're just kissing outside the town. Right? They're just right where they need to go. Witch stuck in that hole. I leave poison on me right now, Witch. The only thing I've done is a little bit of cobblestone. Get rid of that. That's as easy as the fix will be. Now I gotta unearth this witch and not stuff at me. Everything looks good. Hey, she hit me. That was a legendary throw. Cows don't bite me, I'll die. Around this side, I really don't think it's a good idea to have things going behind the castle. Not gonna do too much of this wall at once. It seems to sometimes break everything. I kind of just let the traps do their thing there, and they're not enough just yet. And all I did was sit here and carve this layers. With stone tools, I got maybe 3 or 4 layers. It's very pathetic, Pig. It really is. And even if my traps and everything ran right in, I still gotta kill the witches. So I gotta figure out something with that. This is somewhere on day 39, and I have no idea where I put my bell. Luckily, I do have an emergency bell. Ah, there it is. Wow. Okay, cool. Should have just looked for 2 minutes or asked my wife. I guess that lost villager died. I heard nothing. One missing again. It should be a witch. I don't see it. Whatever, I'll simply build more wall. Happy Feast Day, villagers! Yes, even in times of war, I do celebrate. Feast Day in an underground tunnel. Feast Day at your stepdad. I can't get a cake. I swore this guy was gonna sell a cake. I mean, it's not like a law. I just like to have one. 3 buckets. And I've only had 1 golem die so far. Fucking villagers somewhere. I'll try to figure out where they are before I start selling them. The big chunky wall. Yep, while I'm over here, the cows cannot walk, so I should hold them. This is the bucket made from the original golem. I'm making sure to keep it separate. Didn't I tell you I'd build a memorial? Yeah, that's about where he died. Golem, where I picked up the iron. I don't have the footage of it, I won't record it. But I do relive the moment every night before I go to sleep. Oh, look, the raid stopped. I didn't plan on that, but at least the villagers aren't crying for Feast Day. It's on a wood block. Fancy. That's all I got. No, this is actually a breaker. This is the first one. No, right? I mean, I could have. I've had the castle. I just haven't. Ocean monument right there, too. Yeah, in the Navy. Well, leather armor, by the way. Yeah, look at me. Super strong. So the challenge at hand is building a wall with villagers inside the current wall. And I'm really worried about touching this main building. That's where all the villagers live. I know, it looks horrible. Look at that thing. A crafting table is part of the wall. Okay, I have an idea. It's kind of a good idea, too. Here's the idea. I'm going to make myself a lawn. Like this. Green everywhere. At least it's my castle. I need the stone. It'll look good. I've been ripping up my lawn all day. Stone tools. The villagers have not gone into the traps like at all. Brand new traps with the brand new wall. And that's, of course, the plan. But for now, they're not really dying. Since they don't want to come in my traps, I think this is a good time to double these villager traps and barbecue. This will go down as one of my best ideas. I'm saving so much coal. Villagers are slowly making their way in. Sure, the wall's not complete. They just take time to think that they find themselves here. Everything's moving a lot slower for sure. I do not think I'll win a raid until I get a full wall now. Mayor, I have to make tough decisions. I didn't want to do this, but I am banning Miranda. I hope the people understand. Oh, no, chicken, no. This is bad. Gravel. Use gravel. Oh, sorry to do that to you, chickens. Just wanted a lawn. That's all I wanted. Long nice, though, wouldn't you say? New raid at sunset with about half the new wall installed. Unfortunately, it looks like they spawned on the mountain, and that mountain terrain is nasty. And no matter how much farming I do, I think they're always going to get stuck up there. Real stuck over there. Real stuck. I'm going to need a whole nother wall. Out of the way. Hopefully I get a favor. Oh no! My shovel is broken. Good thing someone smart put a crafting table in this wall. Right here, it's about to be official. The land is walled. Some spots are higher than others. But I think I'm good. I have in the village. There it is, right there, all walled. There's enough houses to house, a society. Traps work. I didn't touch a single pillager on that whole wave, too. I'm gonna work on my lawns, what the pillagers do with the new walls, and let their stuff just not, like, coming around. What I thought would be a simple lawn project has sort of turned into a whole castle renovation. Yeah, sucker for nice, flat land. Oh, yeah. The grass will have to grow in for sure. My home is an absolute shambles, but I'll get there too. I've been building it. I've totally been digging out here. Now, dig it out. Station area. Bedroom's kind of lacking, not gonna lie. But that storage is nice. That's all my items. Access to tunnels. Good castle. Man, wasn't 46. Now day 47. This is new. I did grab some bamboo jungle way over there. I think with the wall, I had some time. You know, the villagers would be safe. I need a lot of wood for my traps, and the bamboo's gonna help me. That's not all I've been up to, just trapping. I did want to relocate this farm inside the wall, too. Having a farm outside the wall is just gonna get stepped on. It's been chill around here. The villagers get lost a lot, but they do eventually get into the traps. It takes a little while for the whole wall being complete now, but it does work. Oh, wow. Okay, actually, kind of a beautiful day to wake up. I don't hear any of them. Downtown area. Wow, they really built this up. And it's slowing down the raid. I think I can fix this. I need higher walls, though. Wall is at least now all the way around 2 blocks high, and that's a good villager safety standard. Let freedom ring! I'm just gonna stand in here. Yep. No one's gonna want to leave yet. One guy left on day 49. I can't believe this is still happening, but I can totally believe it. Nowhere. I can't ignore this problem. I gotta go out and find him. It's probably in a hole somewhere. I was already called for service out here. Had to caulk that. Oh man, covered by a tree. Look at this. Raid's over, but I still gotta patch this all up. Okay, before I press the button, I want to just look at these guys. I'm not gonna trade with them or anything. I just want to look and see what they do. My villagers. Hi. Yeah. Walking around. Not all stressed. This one already moved into a house, you say? Oh, bed? Yeah. There's one left. Oh, he's getting stuck there again. They like this corner, but you know what? You gotta listen to the pillagers when they tell you stuff like that. It may be because of the water, though. I'll try to fix that flowing water. You gotta figure out where they loiter. That's the best way to get rid of them. It's all valuable information. I can profit off this. Oh, interesting. Look at this. It says raid every second. Oh, interesting. Look at this. It says raid defeat. I've never had that before. No, normally it just like goes away. Villagers seem fine. I don't know what your definition of defeat is. Maybe enough of them are like inside the town, so it counts as a loss. You tell me. Look at this. Look at this right here. You tell me who is winning. I could have killed you all whenever I wanted to. I am just trying to kill you all more efficiently. Villagers seem a little chilled out. They're all kind of making their way around town. Makes the whole town feel way more alive to have them screaming and running around. Now, for a while, it was just me screaming and running around. That's no fun. Dude, he just had a villager. Nice. This is a fresh wave. It took me about all day to build this trap. That's the most villager howling I've heard in a while. If I want to win this raid, everything needs to go very smooth today. Get in there. Are those Vex? Did Vex just spawn? Oh, he must have saw a villager somewhere. Villager freedom. It is not free. Is everyone okay? Did anyone kick Steve there? I'm going to barricade this guy for safekeeping. Well, good news is, no one I think anyone died. Truly, I don't even know how many villagers I own. Should not happen again as long as I get this wall high. I really don't think stuff can see through windows. I'm just kind of paranoid. Gotta be really sure that doesn't happen anywhere else. I may have to straighten out the whole. It's a little saggy, and I think it's causing problems. Oh, I was not recording. Sorry about that. New development. Check the gravel wall. I didn't have enough cobblestone to put this much wall down, but I needed a wall. There was just so many angles before in my old wall. It was like 10 angles. Here we got just 2. Nice straight wall. Especially with the castle right here, it makes a lot of sense to have this wall come out straight. You might be wondering, why gravel? Why not just cobblestone like you've been doing? Well, here's the thing. I shovel gravel for arrows anyway. So it's kind of a win-win. I'm shoveling gravel for the wall and also getting flint for more arrows. If it shovels up a little faster than I can mine cobblestone, it's all about efficiency. The more I look at this side of the wall, the more it also looks too many angles, maybe too many. I know where to get the material. I need a treasure so bad. I need the correct word for that. I can use all this stable. Why don't you do is missing? Like, it must be several. So I dug this trench. Just a simple trench. Nothing in it. No trapdoors, no bottom, just a trench. And that one fell in. Next idea. Now I dug on this, just on this side. The trench. All of which is flowing water that should reach the one spot. If this works, I'll dig this hole down as far as I can and design it. I've seen villagers also I've also seen villager beds here for live bait. I'm not sure if that's going to bring more.
Domino's Best Deal Ever is back. Any hands-off, pan-thin or New York-style pizza, anything for $9.99.
Why are you lying? It's what I do. To get worse than I think. Yeah, that seems to me. Cool. All I will tell you is that you're just like last night. Don't you little dumb. There's not going to be president either way. They don't call it the White House because of the paint job. What do you think of drugs? Cocaine.
I'll go look for her stash.
Take Foreman. That's the reason it's got to be tight. I say we assume House was right about access. It ain't nothing. Heart failure could be infection, coronary, or heart. There's a reason they call it the White Hole. You want to give me that black one?
What is black?
What? It's sitting on this information. How's your back? Cameron, it's left. Take mine black. Damaged neurologists. Generally without.
They'll talk about Joseph's dozens of celestial wives, or they'll talk about Joseph Smith's death through a shootout in the jail cell. And while the events surrounding the Book of Mormon are crazy, I feel like I've heard very little discussion on the actual content of the Book of Mormon. So, as a never-mo, you got Mormons, ex-mos, and never-mos, I guess. I'm a never-mo. I had the privilege of reading this for the first time. Now, big old fat disclaimer. I have read this book exactly one time. I am not a scholar. I am not an expert. This is not my definitive, hey, this is the truth of this book or anything. I apologize in advance, because I'm going to get all kinds of events, everything. So with all that being said, the Book of Mormon is without a doubt the biggest text I have ever read.
Jared, hey Jared, can you read?
Now, look at some caveats there. It is not the worst religious book. However, it is definitely the worst primary religious document that I have ever read. So I'm comparing it to things like the Old and New Testament, the Quran, early Christian epistles, and the bajillions of Gnostic Gospels. Mark Twain famously said that the Book of Mormon includes chloroform in print, as in it is basically like anesthesia. I would describe the Book of Mormon as chewing flavorless gum for a month. In order to explain why I found the Book of Mormon to be so bad, I have to unfortunately give the obligatory explanation of like the Bible is not one book. It is a compendium of books, a small library of books and books. My misconception was that, it's all from one era. But no. According to Joseph Smith, these plates reflect ancient writings that were written between the years 600 BC and 400 AD, roughly. The story is that Noah style, came to the Americas from Lehi's lineage. Inside our skulls. Wherever Pinocchio, there's always someone kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes. Two separated eyes. One existing.
decision making. The other areas of the brain can mostly work independently of that. So essentially, so many parts of the brain can be engaged without conscious awareness of it.
During sleepwalking, the motor cortex, which controls movement, the visual cortex, which processes visual information, and the parts of the brain that coordinate behaviors and balance speech can all become active without engaging the prefrontal cortex.
What exactly are you doing, ma'am?
Experiences of sleepwalking reveal that being conscious is not an all or none situation. Our unconscious makes a lot of everyday decisions for us. For starters, boring stuff like regulating your heart rate and your temperature, deciding when to take the food in your stomach and move it down into your gut. Like, thank God we don't have to be aware of all that stuff. Motor function, motor sensory integration, memory representation, all of this is happening below the surface, like the inside of the block.
When you sleepwalk, the brain regions that control your movement, vision, and breathing can get up to all kinds of mischief without you even knowing it. But there's one case where even those regions check out during anesthesia.
We know that there are drugs that can give you anesthetics that would remove your conscious experience.
And we all know that consciousness comes in degrees. We can lose consciousness in sleep. Then we lose it in a more profound way when we are under general anesthesia.
As a researcher working in anesthesiology, I saw this firsthand. So what happens to your brain activity when you go under? Neuroscientist Emory Brown is measuring the line that separates being conscious from being unconscious.
I guarantee my patients that when I say you're unconscious, you're not going to perceive pain. You won't remember anything that's occurring. Your heart rate, blood pressure, and other physiological systems will be well controlled.
The patient is undergoing surgery, but before the surgeons can operate, the anesthesiologists have to put her under, render her unconscious with special drugs. Let's start introducing medicines that might be
Let's get ahead. Eyes moving as we expected.
so you're moving down straight.
Response. Can you see my finger? All around. You can't follow anymore. Tell me, all right? Eyes are fixed. It's a neat it's the oscillation signal. Breaks them down.
When you go under, you can feel like 1 second you're here, and the next, you're out. What's going on in the brain when this happens? Emory uses a device called an EEG, a set of electrodes that rests on the scalp and detects electrical activity in the brain. That activity comes in the form of waves.
The brain generates brain waves or oscillations, and they're oscillations that we typically see when someone's conscious.
These brain waves are measured by their frequency, how fast the waves come and go, and by their amplitude, how small or big the waves are.
I look at your EEG. You're going to have a very rich response. When I anesthetize you, it goes away. So the difference between those two states represents the transition from being conscious to unconscious. So the oscillations seem really big.
When you're awake and fully aware, brainwave activity is
a central actor in processing all types of information.
After a couple of hours of surgery, the medical team is tapering off the anesthesia drugs. And the EEG reveals the patient's brainwave activity becomes more complex as she wakes up.
She's starting to take some risks.
Here's why. Squeeze my hand.
Consciousness is really having active cognitive processing made thing.
Hold on, okay?
It's the integration of that information that allows us to start to understand how consciousness is actually flowing.
Consciousness can obviously interact with the physical world like we can. We can use drugs to remove it, we go to sleep, and we're not conscious, and yet it's at the same time. We can't say how any specific set of neurons working together produces consciousness.
It's so clear that anesthesia is some kind of change of consciousness, right? The whole brain is there, the pieces are there, but the messages aren't getting through in a way that makes for a conscious experience. And that's the difference between being aware and not being aware. So the level of communication of the brain regions is one difference between being conscious and being unconscious. That means that no single area of the brain is responsible for your consciousness. It's that communication that helps make you, you.
Now, remember that the left hand is governed from the right hemisphere.
For some people, an entire half of their brain can't really communicate with the rest. These are people who've undergone split brain surgery, and it's this end. They have two eyes and a single brain.
Now the question becomes, what happens when you hold both hands together to try to solve the problem? And what we find out is that they fight over each other. One hand knows how to work, and one hand does not, until they more or less squabble.
The human brain contains two sides, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, and they are connected by a big bundle of fibers. It's called the corpus callosum. All the communication from one side of the brain to the other has to pass through this fiber bundle.
For some people with epilepsy, a seizure in one hemisphere can quickly spread to the other by way of the corpus callosum. When that bridge is surgically severed, a seizure can no longer cross to the other side of the brain. In addition to treating epilepsy, these surgeries have also led to some astounding research into how the two hemispheres function.
With your left hand, make me the A-OK sign.
To learn more about these fascinating studies, I met two pioneers in the field, Michael Miller and Michael Pizzanica. Michael Miller asked me to step into his lab to do a few simple tests, just like the ones he's conducted with patients after split brain surgery.
So Heather, what you're going to see are two shapes. They're going to come up on the screen. So draw the shape on the left side of the screen with the left hand, and the shape on the right side of the screen with the right hand. I want you to draw them as quickly as you can at the same time. Okay?
Piece of cake, right?
I'm not sure what you're drawing over here,
The left side of the brain controls most of the right side of the body, and the right side of the brain controls most of the left side of the body.
Sorry, I was trying to do different things, and then they just stick them together.
perfectly what's happening. The motor commands.
It was basically impossible for me to force my hands to draw two different things at the same time. But for someone whose two hemispheres are disconnected, there's no interference. It's almost as if there's one eye controlling the left hand and a completely different eye controlling the right hand. And it isn't just movement that split across the hemispheres. Only half of your visual field goes to each side of the brain.
You're looking straight ahead. Everything to the left side of that space goes only to the right hemisphere. separate from the other side.
The researchers conducted tests to explore how the split-brain patient's two hemispheres work independently from one another, including a now famous experiment of a patient named Joe. By quickly flashing a word to just the left side of his visual field, that word would go exclusively to the right half of his brain, the half that can't talk.
So, the only way we're going to know that it registered is if he could read something.
With his hand that is controlled by his right hand.
Flash the word Texas.
His right hemisphere is seeing it.
Saying, my hemisphere, at this point, sir, cannot talk.
Right. He claims to not have seen anything. Oh my god. Wow. He was able to Texas upside down.
What's interesting is he had no idea what he's drawing. We know because we saw the word.
It's like a can't tell what it is. Wow.
Later on, show me where I ask a different question about what he saw.
Once again, they showed the word Texas to just his right nonverbal hemisphere. So when asked about what he saw, all his left hemisphere can say is, oh wow, so he draws a cowboy hat. Right.
What's that? Did you see Texas?
Split brain phenomenon suggests that there could be two separated minds, if you will, inside of a skull. Cooperation is on the paper, not inside the head. It's an astounding example of post-queuing and management of two mental systems in one unified head. And the idea is maybe that's going on in us all the time, too.
Each of us has a sense that we're a unitary being, but actually that belies the fact that each of us, each of our minds, is actually composed of lots of different pieces that are doing different things. Different information can be represented in different parts of that machinery. And so the search for where am I in all of this is a little bit misguided because the I is not in the first place.
That feeling of unity of me is actually distributed across almost 90 billion neurons. This illusion that there's a single person inside our skulls.
Inside your brain are over 100 distinct regions. Many different systems in the brain control what you do, from movement to vision to speech, and even social interaction. I think most human beings like to believe that their mind is under their own control. If I want to, I can stand up right now. I can do that. And that gives me, I think, a false belief that everything I do has been chosen by me. And if there is a story from the brain to tell, it is that we're quite wrong. Not only are there multiple parts of your brain influencing you, but there are things in the world around you that influence your brain, including other people. And who we are in our lives is hugely determined by the expectations of the people around us. The brain helps us be the most social species on the planet. A lot of our brains are devoted to understanding. Our brain doesn't operate in isolation. minds of study participants while they play a game from behavioral economics called the trust game.
This is a cooperative game where one person has some sum of money and they can choose to invest any amount of that money in their partner.
That investment grows. So then the study participant has to decide. They could be greedy and keep all the money, or they could be generous and give some of the investment back.
It's really interesting why do people return the money when they don't have to, and guilt provides one plausible mechanism that might be driving their behavior to act cooperatively in this game.
So you're balancing making these decisions between getting that kind of dopamine reward hit from being a little selfish versus being balanced by those feelings of maybe guilt when you're not cooperating or helping somebody else out. And the brain scans reveal which parts of the brain are most active when someone is feeling guilt.
Those regions ended up being something called the insula. Signals about having this gut feeling that maybe this isn't a good idea or I'd feel really bad if I did that. Those are the signals that are reaching from the insula that allow us to make decisions to avoid harming someone else.
Luke likes to think of it kind of like a thermometer and a thermostat.
If you try to think about how a thermostat might be mapped onto the brain, one region might be more like the thermometer detecting the ambient temperature in the room.
When it comes to reading the room, our brain's thermometer seems to be the insula.
But all that information needs to go somewhere else and be integrated with other types of information.
That's our brain's thermostat, a region located inside the prefrontal cortex that processes our emotions and helps regulate our behavior. And while your thermostat can usually help you take control of your emotions, what would happen if it went out?
There's a famous patient named Phineas Gage.
Phineas Gage was a railroad foreman who was working in Vermont, and he was stamping down a hole that had gunpowder in it, and the gunpowder ignited, sending the rod through his eye up to his brain, taking out a big patch of his brain in the process. At first, although this is beautiful, this man was unscathed from this accident. He had memory, he had language, he had motor control, but of course his friends noticed a difference.
His life fell apart. He had a hard time holding a job. He lost all his friends, and he really just struggled.
His personality made him more fitful, irreverent, more profane. He was missing a lot of behavior, so he had sort of no filter. We now know that the parts of the brain that he surgically excised were involved in emotion and control.
Over 100 years later, neuroscientists mapped the regions of his brain that were harmed in that horrific accident. Areas of his prefrontal cortex, including the brain's thermostat, were damaged, which might account for why he struggled socially. He couldn't regulate his emotions or process how other people might react to his behavior.
And that was the key moment, I think, in neuroscience history, when people realized, oh, it's not just that memory, language is in the brain, personality is up there, morality is up there, things that make you, you are there.
I think we all know intuitively that emotions impact our decisions. So what sort of extra information is this giving us?
A lot of the scientific work that's been done on studying emotion decision making, people have really focused on how emotions lead us to make worse decisions, maybe even irrational. And I actually don't think that's true. If you have a goal to not harm others and to avoid something in your self-interest, emotions are actually helping us make better decisions.
We are the company that we keep, because other people bring out parts of us and strengthen us in particular ways.
How you make decisions, how you behave, how you think about yourself. All of these processes we develop by mimicking and interacting with, synchronizing with other brains.
One thing that we all share as humans is that social life and social contact is an incredibly important part of what our brain processes. Our brains are in detail influenced by every experience we have, every moment, every sentence,
every image changes your brain. And certain experiences are so profound, so extreme, that they can impact brain biology from one generation to the next. Neuroscientist Bianca Jones-Moreland is studying how your ancestors' experiences might control how your brain is wired today.
We ask how trauma affects the brain, how trauma affects the body, and really how trauma affects generations. People in the world through traumatic events, and these traumatic events are one-time change in their brain and their body and actually continues for seemingly their lifetime.
Bianca's research is inspired by her upbringing.
My parents, my biological parents, were also foster parents, so I had foster siblings and adopted siblings growing up. Only now, as a scientist, I realize that motivates a lot of the questions that I ask. How do we understand what happens when kids are born into trauma and optimize what we do have for better generations?
One insight comes from an event during World War II.
At the end of World War II, the Netherlands were cut off from food.
Hello.
Hello. This is the callback that was requested from America First Credit Union. If anyone is available, please pick up and press any key on the telephone touchpad. I still didn't hear anything. We'll call again later.
No.
Goodbye.
No, you. Hello.
Hello. This is the callback that was requested from a... I'm having trouble verifying that information. Please try again. Press 1 to speak to a member service representative. If you'd like us to hold for a moment, press 2. Your call is the next to be answered.
Thank you for calling Thank you for calling America First. My name is Michelle. Who am I speaking with today?
Hi, this is Brylan Hawks.
Hey, how can I help you?
Hey, I'm just wondering if you guys are able to go through my statements and see when I've made payments to a certain company.
Let me take a look here. What's your account number?
It should be 49172917, I think.
49172917?
Yeah.
That's not pulling anything up. I can pull it up with your social. Did you want to try that?
Sure.
Okay, what's that?
646-806212.
Did you say 616?
626.
Let me try this again. Okay, 626.
806212.
6212?
Yeah.
626-806212. That's not pulling anything up either. You never got the social wrong, or you don't have an account number?
Okay, is there any other way I can look it up? I mean, I have a credit card. Is that something that would work?
Yeah, let's try that. What's the card number?
Let's see. That is 4758-1014-0752-9173.
Okay, let me try that. Let me beat you here. Paragon. What was the name one more time?
Brylan Hawks.
Right, and then just to get you verified, if I were to get you to the automated system, would you be able to enter in your 4-digit PIN?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Please say or enter your PIN. Thank you. I'll return you to the representative now.
Okay, there we go. Alright, got you all verified, and then, I'm sorry, what you needed help with again?
I'm just wondering if you can help me look through the statements to see, like, when I've made payments to a certain organization.
Let's see. Do you know around when it was?
Just the last 2 years, really.
Was it in the checking or the saving?
Probably checkings. Probably checking or a credit card.
Have you checked online, like looking at the, like just typing the date from and to?
Can it narrow it down to like certain companies?
So you should be able to put, like for instance, like the from date and the to date, and then just it should have where you can put a description. So you can put like the first few letters of the company, and then see if it pulls it up. That's what I was just gonna do.
I haven't tried that. I didn't know I could do that. But.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if it's on the app. Usually on the website is what I use, and then click on your checking account. It should give you an option to search, and you can like specify more, like I said, from what date to what date. Do you know when? Like, you know, I know you said a couple of years ago, but like starting when?
Starting, let's say January 2023.
To now?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the name of the company?
It should be Byram Healthcare.
Is it BYRON?
AM. Yeah.
Okay, so I searched only found one, honestly, on the 16th of August in 2024 for $145.85.
Huh. That's interesting. I've paid $700. I know one time I paid like $700, and yeah.
It came out of the savings at one point or something. Let's see. Okay, nothing in the savings. And then I'll check the credit card just in case. I mean, you may not have, but... There is one on the Visa Classic credit card on 2/22 of this year for $155.98.
Huh.
So I only saw two. So just the one this year in February on your Visa credit card, and then your checking account last August.
Interesting. Huh.
Those you can find on statements or typing in the dates there to narrow it down. But just out of the checking or the credit card, those are the only ones I saw.
Huh. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Did you need help with anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. If you need anything else, give us a call back, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. See? Hmm.
That was all. Can I see that's my first?
Piotr Zarek again today, the Polish CEO, multi-millionaire whose name sounds like a Sith Lord. Darth Piotr has spawned global outrage after this clip has just gone Insano style. Pretty much anyone with eyeballs on the planet has now seen this, but just in case you somehow missed it, I'll post the replay for you here on the Jumbotron.